In this week's news roundup, economic growth for Nelson at 5-year high, government funds seafood research, and Salisbury fight over. A report just released shows economic growth in the top of the south is at a 5-year high. The ANZ Regional Trends report shows year-on-year growth for Nelson and Marlborough was 3.8% in March this year compared with March 2012. Nelson and Marlborough recorded the second highest annual growth behind Canterbury's 5.6% and ahead of Auckland on 2.6%. Meanwhile, Seafood Innovations Limited has just secured government support for funding new seafood industry research investment over the next 7 years, and which is likely to involve Nelson's Kempthorn Institute. The support is contingent on the New Zealand seafood industry committing matching co-funding to the research program. Seafood Innovations Limited General Manager Mike Mendino says he expects about half of the research is likely to be carried out by Plant and Food Research, Kempthorn Institute and NIWA. He says the government support is the foundation for our partnership research program through to 2020. He says they have clear science aims to invest in and they need to increase the volume and value of our exports and remain competitive. He says they need to reduce any impact on the environment and they need to achieve a greater diversity of products they export to meet global consumer preferences. Mike Mendino says the science program will be remarkably diverse, reflecting the complex nature of the seafood industry. He says they plan to be doing fundamental work on the biology of the animals they farm and harvest, developing new farming systems and devising new methods of taking premium seafood to discerning world markets. And the long drawn-out battle to keep Salisbury Special Education School open has ended with the announcement by Education Minister Hekia Parata on Tuesday this past week the school will stay open. The school took its fight to the High Court, and in December Justice Robert Dobson decided the move to close Salisbury and place the girls in Horswell Residential College in Christchurch was unlawful and didn't take into account the girls' safety. Mainland's Chrissy Small spoke with Salisbury Principal Brenda Ellis about the breakthrough.
Oh, Brenda, it's great news. Tell me, what happened today?
Well, the Minister had sent us a letter to say that she would be coming to visit the school today. To be honest, the board felt concerned as to the purpose of her visit, and we were not optimistic that we were going to receive good news. But I'm very happy to say that after unpacking the judicial review process that happened last year, she was able to tell us that she'd made the decision that she viewed Salisbury as a really important part of the network, or in the network of special education provision under the umbrella of the new intensive wraparound service. So we're delighted.
Gosh, well, it's been a real rigmarole, hasn't it?
It's been an exhausting year. It's taken a huge amount of effort and energy on behalf of the board and the supporters, including the local community, who've been outstanding. And we really owe a great deal of thanks to the community for getting behind us. We had a fundraising fair last year to help with our legal fees. Both mayors have been amazingly supportive, as has our MP Nick Smith, and Chen Palmer, of course, our legal support. So a big win all round, especially for the local community.
What was the factor that made her change her mind? Do you know?
I think it's clear that there is a role for single-sex residential education in New Zealand. Horswell College in Christchurch is not going to go ahead with its co-education option. So we believe it's a real vote of confidence in girls and their education, and for women to know that this has been allowed to remain single-sex.
Do you think you'll have more demand now from students wanting to come here?
It's a good question. I mean, throughout this last year we've had a lot of inquiries, continual throughout the process from parents and mainstream schools and referrers. We know the demand is there. We intend to work really closely with the wraparound service, who really make the enrolments or take the enrolments now, so that we can help to facilitate more students coming into Salisbury.
What is your current role?
Currently we have 23 students on site. We have been told by Brian Coffey, Policy Manager with the Ministry this morning, who accompanied the Minister, that we can expect to have about 30 students from toward the end of this year and beyond.
That's an additional 30?
No, we'll have a notional roll, I think, of 30. That is what the plan is.
Right.
Yeah.
How many more can the school hold, though?
In the past, we have been able to enrol 80 students, but with the intensive wraparound service, it is hoped that some of that need will be met in mainstream schools in local communities, and we accept that some girls will be able to have their education managed that way. But the great news for us today is that the Minister has acknowledged there is a need for residential, and there is a need for residential for female students, and we're it, and we have been for nearly 100 years.
That's right. Now, Brenda, when did you actually receive the letter from the Minister saying she was coming?
We got the letter, or rather the final confirmation was made last week, but she had given us several dates which we were able to negotiate with her, so there was sufficient notice.
Well, Brenda, it's been great news all around for everyone here at Salisbury and for the community. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, as I say, a win for girls, a win for education, particularly special education, and I think a win for the local community, because we do pour money into the community by being here. So, yeah, a great one all round. Thank you.
Great.
Sports clubs running bars will be the focus of an upcoming alcohol harm reduction operation by Nelson Bay's police. Liquor Licensing Sergeant Steve Savage says controlled purchase operations and compliance checks were planned for the coming months to ensure clubs were being vigilant about checking ID and not selling alcohol to minors. He says clubs need to be particularly careful about people buying drinks for underage friends at after-match functions. Sergeant Savage says the only person who can supply a minor with alcohol is their parent or guardian. He says police would also be checking for intoxication levels among patrons at sports clubs. Steve Savage says someone who's just completed a hard game of rugby or even 3 hours on the bowling green is going to become intoxicated quickly if they don't also have food and water. He says they want to ensure clubs are aware that their responsibilities are the same as any other licensed premises, and they'll be subject to the same consequences for any breaches of the licensing laws. Stephen Savage says that responsibility also included taking steps to ensure patrons got home safely and didn't drink and drive. Meanwhile, Nelson Police have this past week been in the process of moving their Victory Community Police Base into an office at the Community Centre at Victory Primary School. Officer in charge of Nelson Police Community Section, Sergeant Malcolm Drummond, says police were very pleased to have secured a space within the community centre. He says the centre is a real hub of activity in this community and it will place them right alongside the other support agencies working there. Mel Drummond says with this sort of one-stop shop, they'll be able to call on the expertise of other support agencies and provide a holistic service to the Victory community. He says it fits perfectly with their focus on preventative policing. And the yearly Lion Foundation Young Enterprise Scheme is now preparing for the Yes Lions Den part of the program being held next week. Chrissy Small spoke to the Yes Regional Coordinator Robert Panzer about what the teams can expect.
Lion Foundation's Regional Coordinator for the Youth Enterprise Scheme, Robert Panzer. Lovely to have you back here in the studio, Robert.
Good to be back again, yeah.
Now, give us a brief rundown on how long this Youth Enterprise Scheme has been running for those viewers who have not had the opportunity to know about it.
The Lion Foundation Young Enterprise Trust and the whole scheme actually operates for the last 30 years. Before that it was another sponsor before Lion Foundation, I think it was Fletcher Challenge. So it's operating for 30 years. For me, as a regional coordinator, I'm one of the 20 regional coordinators around the country. So all the regions are divided, and I'm responsible for the top of the south.
Right. Now, this scheme is designed to get children interested in developing businesses.
Entrepreneurial skills, basically. What I say, we try to create, the scheme tries to create a bridge between the school curriculum and the business world, the business community. So what I'm trying to do is get the kids out of school and get them in touch with business people and in the real world. Financial literacy, that's not being taught at schools. That's what we try to give them in a lot of ways in the business world.
And to make it really work, the schools really need to be fully on board, is that right?
That's correct, and a lot of the schools, there is a lot of differences in there. They have to run a business studies or an economic studies or a class like that. Some schools don't have that. I also noticed that there is a little swerve of kids going on to more like science and rather than business.
Now, Robert, the Dragon's Den is coming up next week for these groups of children around the region. Tell us a bit about the Dragon's Den.
The Dragon's Den, the Yes Dragon's Den, I have to be careful because it's loosely based on the UK entrepreneurial show, The Dragon's Den. That's where entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs, not so much young entrepreneurs, but new entrepreneurs pitch their idea and their business plan and the business model to obtain a lot of investment money from UK entrepreneurs. The Yes Dragon's Den is a slightly different one, but still it's an oral presentation. All the teams, we have 20 teams, 20 businesses I should say, who will competing for a total grant of $2,000, which is divided between the top 5 presenters. So basically they have their business plan ready now and they're presenting and trying to pitch for money. That money is seed money for them to progress their business for the rest of the year. And this is my 3rd year. I'm a regional coordinator here. And we did this year again, doing pretty much the same as last year. We hold it in the Theatre Royal.
Right.
Next Tuesday, the 28th, I think it is. And we start at 4 o'clock. As I said, 20 teams. Each team has 5 minutes to present. And then they go on having a Q&A with the judges for up to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the next team will come up.
Are they going to be the dragons themselves? They're obviously local people who are successful business people sitting in as dragons. And are they going to be quite tough on these presentations?
Not so much tough as more as constructive criticism, of course.
Right.
They will have to mark them because the markings, the scoring of the teams and the presentations will also go to their NCEA credits. And it goes into the program, the Yes program. So they do their marking, but at the same time during the Q&A, when they see an opportunity, when they see possibilities for the students, they will tell them.
Right.
And I can tell you who the judges are. Most of or some of them are from last year. We have Jack Martin, editor and owner from Wild Tomato magazine.
Right.
Melissa Hutchinson from the Nelson EDA. She steps in to Bill Findlater's shoes because Bill is in China.
Yeah.
We have Stephen Paul, he is the managing partner of the BNZ, and Sharon McGuire, who is the regional group manager economic development at Nimet.
Yes.
And last but not least, the real dragon is Rachel Rees from the Nelson City Council. She doesn't mind being named like that. She is very supportive of the whole scheme as well.
Yeah.
So these are a lot of business background, a lot of local background, and as I said, they will be tough on them, but also they will be given constructive criticism and hope to push them along for their ride. The thing is, the $2,000 money pool we have available is, of course, sponsored by the EDA, the BNZ, and the Nimet. And Jack Martin from Wild Tomato tosses in another advertisement for the winning team,
Right.
or for the best performing team. I don't talk about winners and losers.
No.
It's the best performing team.
And Nelson Mayor Aldo Miccio has just announced his intention to bring free wireless internet to Nelson's CBD. The announcement has come in the wake of news last week that Nelson has won New Zealand's top Google eTown award. Mayor Aldo Miccio says this should be a natural and desirable progression for the city's economic growth. Mayor Aldo Miccio, you've just announced your intention to bring free wireless internet to Nelson's CBD, and this announcement has come in the wake of last week's announcement that Nelson has won New Zealand's top Google eTown award, and you say this should be a natural and desirable progression for the city's economic growth. How important is this for Nelson to be internet savvy in terms of the region making progress economically?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I think we'd probably look back in 5 years' time and wonder how we survive without having free Wi-Fi in the city. I mean, the technology's moved on from a year ago or 2 years ago. The technology's there now for ultra-fast broadband, free within our CBD area. And in terms of tourists, in terms of business people that are in town, in terms of existing business people that, Nelsonians that work in town, to have access to free Wi-Fi while you're in town will just be fantastic. It'll be good for the retail sector, it'll be good for the restaurants, it'll be good for the bars, and also students, families, for everybody. So I'm really excited about this and looking forward to having it in our downtown CBD area. And like you said, it builds wonderfully on from being awarded the eTown most internet savvy, highest internet use of any city in New Zealand. Beating Auckland and Wellington and places like that. So it's it'll be a great thing.
Fantastic. And is the idea also about attracting new business into Nelson CBD?
Well, yeah, I mean, initiatives like this, they do sort of pull people in. We're attracting a new young generation of young entrepreneurs into our CBD as it is, and something like this just helps, helps fuel that and helps provide that, makes Nelson a more attractive place to set up shop.
So you're in discussions with a private provider with plans soon to present to council, is that right?
Yeah, so in terms of timing to bring it to council, I'd like to see something in the next couple of months that we can bring forward to council, a proposition. Hoping it will be rates neutral, so there'll be no impact on rates. It'll be covered by a private provider, and so it's win-win all round. So it's something that we should have hopefully set up well before Christmas.
So you're dreaming of a Wi-Fi Christmas?
That's right, a Wi-Fi Christmas.
And on Friday, Housing Minister Dr Nick Smith opened Housing New Zealand's new Nelson office after earthquake safety risks saw the old office closed in October last year. Dr Smith says assessment by engineers found the old office was earthquake prone and resulted in Housing New Zealand taking immediate steps to relocate the office and its 6 staff into temporary premises. He says the new office on Trafalgar Street in the city centre will be open every day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and will be able to deal with the range of inquiries as well as offering new assessments and providing a location for customers to drop off documents.
Get your hands on some Roman technology. Discover the amazing legacy of this great empire.
For the past 10 years, the up-close and classical company of Dance Nelson, led by Louise Hawke, has created the very best ballet performances for the people of Nelson. Dance Nelson has given Nelson girls the rare opportunity to dance to a high standard and to perform on stage with international dancers. Several of these students have gone on to a successful international career for themselves. Now, Dance Nelson needs your help. The ballet studio that brought you all of these shows is looking for a new home. Our lovely studio has been earmarked for earthquake strengthening and we have to move out. Can you help? Do you know of a space, preferably in Nelson, that would be suitable for us to lease? The space that we require is at least 100 square metres of open floor for the dance studio and some rooms for changing and storage of costumes. The ceiling needs to be high enough for a dancer to jump without bumping her head, and of course, we have a very limited budget. If you think you know of a space that might be suitable for the studio, then give Keith a call on 021 528 832. 021 52 88 32.
Everybody has a story that needs to be told. At the time of death, we reminisce, we honour, we remember.
My family have been helping Nelsonians tell their stories with respect and dignity for over 4 generations.
I'm proud to be part of the next generation that recognises every life is valued and meaningful.
I promise that my professional and qualified funeral directors at Marsden House will assist you when you need it most.
Talk to Marsden House about how you or your loved ones can be remembered.
Waimea Telecommunications, specialising in free-to-air digital television, internet broadband connections, telephone and telecommunications systems. Call Julian Toon at Waimea Telecommunications on 544-4203.
How happy are you with the quality of your digital prints? And how safe are those precious memories stored on your computer? Hi, I'm Simon from Nelson City Cameras. Quality 6x4 prints are easy using one of our 8 photo kiosks. Join our loyalty club and print 30 photos or more, and the photos are only 39 cents each. As a member, you also get 50% off enlargements and other great benefits. But wait, there's even more. Our user-friendly kiosks allow you to create photo books, photo gifts, and even canvases. If you need a digital camera, binocular, tripod, we have a great range and selection, and our advice is free. We have a fantastic range of photo albums and picture frames to suit your needs and your budget. So print your memories, don't hide them, relive them. Come in and meet the team at Nelson City Cameras, Nelson's most experienced camera shop. 25 years serving Nelson.
Housing shortages are no new thing, and land shortages also go hand in hand. I had the opportunity to discuss the prospect of high-density housing in central Richmond recently with Tasman Mayor Richard Kempthorn. Council is thinking about encouraging higher density housing in Richmond. What is Council's primary reason for looking into this?
The primary reason is we've been looking for a wee while now at good urban design and how to maximise the town centre in Richmond and the area immediately around the town centre. And one of the possibilities is we've traditionally had the quarter acre section, but one of the possibilities going forward is that we have smaller sections, people have less ground, less gardens if there are people that don't want a garden, and they want to have more intensive housing, but housing that's been nicely built. That's the purpose of it. So it's not replacing what we're already doing, but it's actually giving something in addition to what we already have.
And for those who don't know, what exactly is, higher density housing?
Higher density housing would be, for example, you might have a series of 2-storied houses next to each other, or semi-detached. There might be just a wall between rather than a gap between. So there's a whole range of possibilities, but it's where the houses and dwellings are closer together. They'll be out looking onto the street. That'd be one of the reasons for this, is to have that type of a more compact dwelling right in the centre of town, no cars needed. Those are the sorts of things.
Great, and you're inviting residents to give community input on this. How do they go about this?
This will be clearly publicised when there's the opportunity for community input, and anybody who, they don't have to be people just living around the centre of Richmond. Anybody who's interested in being involved in this, in how they would like Richmond to be, would be welcome to be involved. So keep an eye out in Newsline, keep an eye out for other advertisements in the library. It'll be publicised, and people are very welcome to be involved. If they want to phone into the council to find out when this consultation is going to occur, they're welcome to do that.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thanks for joining us, have a safe weekend, and we'll be back again next week with the latest in news and events from around the region. And now we'll leave you with a new Dreammaker Dream Wedding video showcase.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
The bellbird in the black beech tree, he calls a song of love. From the Wifi and the Rimu, the tower high above reminds her of the moment that she first saw the smile upon his face. And here today they seal their love in the beauty of this place. He'll be her dream maker as he takes her by the hand. He'll be her dream maker to walk on golden sands with a love for each other that's just begun under Pacific sun. My time has flown, it does when you're having fun, and she can feel love's warmth beaming on her like the sun. Tomorrow she'll walk through the door, beautiful, all dressed in creamy white, and he will hold her close in his heart and his arms tonight. He'll be her dream maker as he takes her by the hand. He'll be her dream maker to walk on golden sands with a love for each other has just begun under Pacific sun. He'll be her dream maker as he takes her by the hand. He'll be her dream maker to walk on golden sands with a love for each other that's just begun under Pacific sun. Dream maker under Pacific sun. Dream maker under Pacific sun. Dream maker under Pacific